Hello everyone, this is my first tutorial on this channel. I'm gonna be making a Django tutorial on how you should get started with Django, Python library a Python library with which you can make web pages and basically web pages. So let's get started. Once you're in your code folder, I don't know where it is on your computer, you're going to install Django with pip, which is the library installer from Python, and you just go pip3 install Django. It will install everything for you, but on Windows this is enough. On Linux you use sudo apt if you're on Ubuntu or any distro that use Ubuntu or Debian, and you just go Python Django, and as you can see there are a lot, and you just go type Django and you press enter. Now I've already installed it, but now you should have installed everything. So if you then go Django-admin, you see all this stuff, and you just go start project, with which you're just going to say start a project. You're gonna call this hello world. Most starting types of Django or coding stuff named hello world. So once we do this, you could see if I press CD, there's now a hello world folder. Now you just open up your code editor. With me it is Visual Studio Code, and you see all this stuff. There's not really anything to worry about. So if you just press new, then you now shouldn't do anything. You should actually go back here and do Python 3 manage.py, start app, and then your app name, which is me is gonna be home. Now if you go back to your code editor, you're gonna see a home. This has many things, but we're not gonna do anything with those. If we go to this, you can see hello world and everything. If I go to another one, you first off need to make a url.py in here, and you're going to paste these two with our these are basically saying views with this file where we're gonna do some stuff later, and then we're going to say URL pattern equals an array, which in it has a path with nothing, but just says to wherever this is, views the index. As you see, we have imported views, so yeah, and then name equals quote unquote index. You could do this with whatever quote you like, so this doesn't really matter. Once we have this, we're done. Now you're going to this URL. In this URLs, we're going to say another time path with nothing in it again, include quote home.urls. Now you're gonna see include is not defined. So in path, this strange thing from Django, we're going to need to say Django.urls import include. Now you can see this works, but if I open up my terminal in here and I say Python 3, you don't need to do this on Windows, you can just say Python manage.py, run server. You're going to see this is an error. The error is in this file that we're calling views.index, but views doesn't actually have an index. So we're going to say define index request, and then we have this. What are we gonna say this? Return, then render. But what are we gonna say in this? As you saw, it said request. But what then? We're going to do this home/index.html. You see you got an error, but you see now it works. Now it's gonna say, if you open up your web browser and go to your own address, template does not exist because we just said index.html, but where is the index.html? So you're going to your home folder, new folder, templates, open this, another folder called home, and we're going to make a new file, index.html. Once we do this, you can now see, I just remembered, it just doesn't work, and it's mostly because in the settings you're going to see this ugly file mostly, and you don't know what any of this is. In installed apps, I'm going to do quote home, or the name of your app that you made. Now you have an empty file. This empty file points to this. So if I hello in this, then you're going to see an hello. If you're used to HTML, there's no live reload function. Someone probably made it, but I'm not gonna use it because you have to remove it in your actual project if you're gonna publish it. So we're just gonna rename this to home, and if you see up here it says home. In views we still have this. We're not gonna change anything. Then we're gonna open up the file models.py in home. Here we're gonna create a class, and we're just gonna say text. No, not text. Name it whatever you want. I'm just gonna call it message. You can call it whatever you want, but next you're gonna say model met capital. Next, I know, just a large that's not a very big project, but you need a large amount of text. So now you're just gonna say title equals models.jar field. in this char field, you're gonna have a quote, title, and then you're automatically gonna see char fields must define a max length attribute. I'm gonna use a comma, max hyphen length equals, and then I'm just gonna say 50, just an arbitrary number. Now you see we have made it, but there's still not, you can use this right now as a model in your database or whatever you want. So I'm just gonna add some more models. That text field. This is basically a text field where you can put in any number of, you can have multiple lines and not just one line of 50 characters. And we're just gonna put another quote and do this. Next, we're gonna do publication date equals models.date field. So this is when you want to put it online, so you can put this to the future and not worry about it mostly. Then this is all we have to do right now. No, this is not all we have to do. Next we're gonna make a def string, and we're just gonna say quote unquote message space self.title, and this is all we're gonna do for now. Now go to your terminal and I'm gonna clear it. Go back to your manage.py and type in make migrations. You see create model message. It has created a model for messages. Next we're gonna do SQL migrate home 0001 is done. Next you just do migrate because there are a lot of other things that need migrating. Now you're done and you can just do Python 3 manage.py run server. If you go back, there's still nothing changed, even though we changed a lot. Next you go to your admin file. You type in admin.site register, and what are we going to put in here? We first from .models import message, so we're going to put in message here. Now if we go to this URL /admin, we're gonna get asked for a password and a username. But what are the standard usernames? If you just type admin login, please enter the correct username and password. It does not work. So go back to Python 3 manage.py and type in create, I don't know actually, I'm gonna make this big, create super user, create super user. I'm just gonna make it admin, no email address, and password is also admin. Yes. So now if we run it, we go to here, we resend it, and we're in. Now we see home and messages. Here we can add a message, which you can see we have title, text and publication date. The title is test 1, and we're just gonna do multiple tests, and we're just gonna put in today. We press save. You can see it here. Still nothing changes on the page except for here. If we make this small for a second and we go back to views and we say from models import message. Now what can we do with this? We can say message dot objects order by, and what are we gonna put in this? If we look to our model, what do we want to order it on? Some title, or rather the date on which is it published. If we do it on title, it will always also basically it will always also show the newest, even though the publication date is tomorrow or over a month. So now we have order by, but it's just doing this, nothing is happening. If we say objects equals this, and we say comma context, and here we're gonna say objects. I'm just gonna put obj because that's, I think it is better, but once we do here and we go back to 7, you see it's still blank. It doesn't do anything with the code. So if we do this, %% for object in objects, I'm just gonna do objs in views, because then this much rather better code, I think. And 4. Now in this, if we just call a paragraph with if we just do obj and we do this, it just gonna tell you obj. That's not what we want, right? If we do this obj, now message test 1, it's gonna tell us the string object that we gave it. If we do title, we're gonna get test 1. If we're gonna do text, you're gonna see test, but here it was an enter. So what are we doing wrong? If we just do this, line breaks, and we now go back, you see it's under each other because it is actually adding line breaks. Like in HTML, you can do with BR. It is this. It's adding this to every end of the line. But this is not what we want. We want a page with which links to other pages with objects. So how would you do that? Well, you would go back here. You would go to here actually, and you would say a link to slash. Now normally you would link to a folder, but we're not gonna do this. We're gonna do this, which yes, work in strings. I first of thought also, but ID, but we didn't specify any IDs. The ID is normally given to an object without us needing to set it. So if we just do this and we give it an h2 element, and we do the same, and then we say object title, now we have a link, but we can't go to it. It would just say current path 1 / didn't match any of these. So why can't we? If we first go back, you're most of you are already gonna know what's up. We're gonna close this, and we're gonna go to this URLs. If we do path, and we do quote unquote this int message. If you just do message hyphen ID, then now we have a message, but it's gonna say invalid index. So we're gonna say views dot msg name message. So what is the problem? We forgot a comma. Now you could see, go to this, it would just say there's an error. Let's take a look. What is the error? We gotta reload. No. Home.views has no attribute msg. So we have this problem earlier. We're just gonna do def msg request comma msg hyphen id. Now maybe did we name it? This has to be low one. Now it's going to say an error because we're not returning anything, even though it expects us to return anything. So we now in render no request comma quote unquote home / index. If we do this, it won't work. So we're gonna do message.html. Now it's not gonna work, and so the simple thing to do here already is get object for 404, and then straight away gonna copy that. Let's see. Format it a bit. Now if we do obj and we say get object for 404, we first off get class and we say message comma id equals message id. Now if we reload this, you can see another template does not exist. So we're going to make a new file, message.html. You're going to do the standard thing, and if we just do check the title as the title, you're already going to see test 1. That's the title of our first thing. So it works already. Now we're gonna do an unordered list and a list, and we're gonna say obj the title in an h2. So this can get a little bit messy in HTML, so you should probably look for extensions, but I haven't found any on VS Code that I really like. So now you have this. Once you reload, you got test 1. Now, if we go list item and go same thing, only just obj.text, you're now gonna see we have test. But remember, line breaks. So now it is like this. I'm just gonna add a little CSS because I don't like how the list item looks. So list -style none. So now if we refresh, it's like this. Now a last list. This is not optional, but we're gonna just do that date. Let's take a look. Do we have everything right? Yes. Now why isn't it working? Oh, I refreshed it as the page was as the server was reloading. So now you can see we have test, May 15th, 2019. The day I'm recording this is that. So now, what about if we save it? We add a message and we say lol, and I'm gonna go use and I just say lorem ipsum text, and I'm gonna copy it and just Ctrl V, and with every thing we're just gonna save this and we're gonna say tomorrow, and we're gonna save this. Now if we go to our page, it will already show. So why is that? So we have lol with lorem ipsum text, and this is generated automatically based on the message that we created, but we don't want it to show for tomorrow. Well, this is not, we just have to go to views, and here we're gonna say minus publication date. Oh no, I lied. So this is basically the basics of how it works, but what about if we actually want to make it into a production? If we want to add images mostly, we just go to our editor and we say models, and before the publication date, I'm going to say image equals models.image field, and we say quote unquote image. What will happen? Right now it will say this doesn't exist, like we did we just have to do make migrations, but now it's gonna say what is going on here. So what is going on here is we added this later than the whole thing, and we have some models. We have to add blank equals true, and the Python is true. If we do this, we now see image. This is an optional field, so even though you don't fill it in, it will still work. Now it still won't work because we need to migrate it. And now we can run the server, and if we do this, we can add a file. What about a puppy? I'm just gonna search up a random puppy that we can use as proof of concept. Saved image as. I'm just going to go Django, hello world, and I'm gonna save it here. It doesn't matter where you save it. So now browse, and I'm gonna go home, Django, hello world, and I'm gonna select this image. Save. What will happen? Well, it will just say that's here. So perhaps it was deleted. It isn't deleted, but when we go to our thing here, you see another one. So I'm just gonna rename this to puppy, and I'm gonna delete this one. So clear, save. So now there's nothing in here. I'm just gonna drag this to Django folder. So, but there's still one problem. It won't upload to a media folder, let's say. Well, this is actually one of the easiest parts. We just gotta say in settings, all the way at the bottom, you might already see static URL. We just gotta say media, full caps, URL, no, URL equals quote unquote slash media slash. My PC just went weird, but media root. Now you might say, how would we go about getting the root of this project? Well, that's already done for us in standard this. So we're just gonna say base dir, comma, quote unquote, media. So what is now done, it is looking for a folder with the name of media. So if we make a new folder and we call it media, and we go about and upload the puppy again, and we go back to Django and we say puppy, save. Now in the old version it will just upload here, but now it's uploaded in the media folder. Now I'm gonna look at this. Now to make the media folder work is a bit difficult, so I'm just gonna copy the code. We're gonna go to the URLs of hello world of the main folder, and we're gonna put in this. We gotta import some stuff, but from that import settings and serve I don't know if, yes, this is the right one. And now it's gonna say re path. We're just gonna say path re path. Now what is the invalid input? No, we just forgot the comma. Now it works, and if you go to this slash media slash, you're gonna see now you can open the puppy. This is the easiest way I could find of making this work. So now go back to your views. Do you want to add the puppies in the main files? I think so. So we're gonna add the puppies in the main files. This is maybe gonna be a little bit difficult, but how I mostly do it is make an object of images and go here and from hello world dot settings import the media URL. So now it's gonna say not a good thing, media URL. Once I do this, I'm gonna open it and I go to this file and I say another one, an ordered list, a list with this and an image with this. Might get a little bit irritating, images and then object dot image. Now the object dot image is just a file name. It is not actually, it's just a name, not actually a file that you can grab. But if you just say we don't add any alts, we're just gonna remove this and now go back to the home page, and now test one doesn't have an image. What's going on there? Well, what is actually going on is we need to say an if statement if that image, because not all objects can have it. So and if, and we're just gonna add some indentation. So now you see that weird icon is gone. So now you see this puppy, but I'm just gonna add some simple styling like in last file. List file type none, and then I'm gonna do ul list item, and I'm gonna do display flags. Now if I reload it, see like this, ul li image margin hyphen left 3 So now we have this image here and we have test1 and lol. So if we add an image to test1, what would happen? Well, it would basically be the same to having an image in the other one. It just would move along because the text is slightly larger. But now there's no image here. What's going on? Well, actually what is happening is, go to the ear, it's the same thing that happened in the other one. So I'm gonna make a slight change. Instead of LIs, I'm just gonna remove the LIs because I don't think they're now really necessary. So slash. So now it would seem the same, but it actually, if I just this one, you see it's one list item. Now we could add another list item, in it an image with source of image, another one object with image, right? But it's not gonna say anything. We forgot to add to views this images line. So now reload it, Why isn't it saying anything? We might have made it like here, images. So and margin left 3 design. So now we have an image in this tag. So we have these two images. This will change automatically based on the image. So now it's here. So it doesn't. Now we have a simple messaging app at which we can place puppies or whatever we want on different lines. But I want to do one thing more. I'm just gonna make it if the date. No, I'm not. This was my part 1 tutorial. In my part 2, I'm just gonna make it able to work without needing anything else. So like if we go to the if we just type lol, that we don't get this, but we just get page not found. That kind of stuff will we will make. And the static, if we now go to static, directory indexes are not allowed here, but we need to load the CSS and JavaScript of the page and anything else. I'm not going to do any HTML tutorials on how to make a fully functional website. But yeah, this was it. Hope you liked it. Hope it helped you mostly. And see you next time. Goodbye.